Slack valued at $2.8 billion. Is Yahoo going to buy Foursquare? And Etsy's epic IPO. We're talking about all that and more today on Crunch Week. Hey there, I'm Colleen.
And I'm Sarah Buhr.
And I'm Alex.
And it's been a fun week for tech. First up, we've got to talk about Slack's huge fundraise, the latest in a series of huge fundraises.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's $160 million at a $2.8 billion valuation. Yeah. And the last was 120 at a 1.12, and that was like 18 minutes ago, I think.
Yes.
Approximately.
And apparently they still have that money on top of this money.
Yeah, so they have at least $280 million in the bank right now. So it's a quarter bill, flat, just sitting there. It's an entire VC fund in one startup that they're not using.
Yeah.
And if you know what Stewart said, Stewart, the CEO and founder, he said it would be irresponsible to not raise now because it's such an amazing moment to raise money. So they now have like a Fort Knox of capital just sitting around, not earning much now in interest or whatever, but like they have enough money for, I want to say, 1 trillion years.
Right, right. What do you think about this thing that he said, that it would be stupid to not raise money? Do you think that you should really just take on all of the money that everybody offers to you? Is there ever a point that founders should turn it away?
Well, he's actually, I mean, he's not the first person to say this. I actually talked with the CEO of Zen Payroll last week, and he said the same thing. He had enough in the bank, but he said it was time to start for winter, and he said that he was around during the first .com bust, and a lot of his colleagues had too, and he said that it was probably smart for him to keep the money in to raise. So I don't know. I mean,
you never want to raise when you actually have to raise.
Yeah, exactly.
And so people were just going to give him enough money at whatever valuation he wanted, with whatever terms he wanted. I don't blame him for this.
But along with the money comes this valuation that can be difficult to live up to, right? It's going to take a while for Slack to really become a $2.8 billion company, isn't it?
Yeah, but they have so much runway. I mean, they have like 25 years of capital. They can just never go public or raise again and just be totally fine.
Yeah.
I don't think they really care about the valuation per se right now, other than that it's shiny and pretty. I think they want enough cash for winter and enough cash to maybe buy some stuff if they wanted to do so. Maybe buy a sauna, I don't know. But they have the flexibility now to go into different verticals, really grow the product as long as they want to. I mean, they just have endless maneuverability that other companies that are undercapitalized at bad times just don't have. And so now that we all use Slack internally here at TechCrunch, it means we don't have to change tools ever.
That's
which is nice.
True. That's true. Yeah, we do use Slack now at TechCrunch. We've just started using it maybe a month ago. And I think it's cool. I'm not as gaga over it as a lot of other people seem to be out there.
It has GIF search built in. I mean, what more like do you really want in your productivity tool than Giphy? Because people who don't know, our back channel now on Slack is like just a GIF fight.
No, and every time I open up our back channel, it's like 44 unread messages, all GIFs.
Right.
All random GIFs too.
I think that's the most brilliant thing that Slack did is because they've made it so that it's just so viral and fun to use.
Emoji and GIFs are like our catnip as tech reporters. So like, and for people in our age in tech. I wonder though how Slack will be able to expand its user base outside of people that know about it through things like this.
That is one thing that I liked about what Stuart Butterfield was saying in his interviews. I don't believe he said it to Ingrid London yesterday, but I think he said it to Aaron Griffith at Fortune, was that getting that $1 billion, $2 billion, $3 billion valuation is really important for convincing Fortune 500 companies to put their workforces on Slack. Once these news articles get out and they know that this is a billion-dollar company, then they'll be more willing to say, okay, we're Kraft Foods or we're Procter & Gamble, and we're going to allow our employees to use Slack. It somehow seems more legit.
Yeah, think about one of these old conservative companies like State Farm Insurance. I've been to their headquarters in Southern Illinois, old school, and then you give them Slack, and you're like, it has GIF search, and they'd be like, what's GIF? I wonder if the stuff that we find so magical about it wouldn't convert well to other audiences that would just use it as a chat application with a main chat thing.
That's true. I think that they need to use this money, hopefully, to build out the product a little bit more, clean it up a little bit more, give some more options other than just sort of like this hip chat kind of interface with more bells and whistles. I think it needs to be more than what it is. But we'll see. Next up, we're talking about Foursquare, the latest rumors about Foursquare.
Calling me.
What? Alex?
What's Foursquare?
Oh no.
I've forgotten, I'm sorry.
I don't really remember. It's been a lot of things throughout the years. It is no longer, though, the badge mayorship thing.
See, I liked that Foursquare. That was like, what, 8 Foursquares ago?
I like that Foursquare, but I also like the new Foursquare.
Do you use it now still?
Yeah.
For what?
I prefer it over Yelp.
Okay. But now that we've established
because
what Foursquare is,
yeah.
sort of, the rumor this week.
Well, it's confusing because there's Swarm and Foursquare, which is now more like a Yelp, like your location suggestion half.
Anyways, you were saying.
Right, but the rumor this week that TechCrunch broke and reported on, Ingrid London again, that Yahoo is in talks to buy Foursquare for $900 million.
That's kind of crazy. That's crazy high. I don't know. What do you think?
Foursquare is another company that has raised
There
a
were
lot.
so many different people saying different things that it's really hard to know what exactly is happening because
It's chaos.
Well, because we have some sources that had apparently said, this is a thing, go pursue it, and other people flat out denying it to other publications. So it's tough to know. I mean, is it just...
They've been for sale for so long now at various price points. I feel like they're Dig. Like Dig almost got sold for like $300, then it was like $200, then it was like $25, then it was like $8. Foursquare is somehow managing to command theoretical valuations that are still quite high. I wonder if that's predicated on their data sets and technology and not their usership. I don't think you're going to buy Foursquare now because they've got 100 million monthly actives that they don't. But if you're, say, Yahoo and you want to build out your own mobile search experience,
technology,
exactly,
yeah. Which I mean might make sense for Yahoo. This seems like something that Yahoo would buy into, especially with
all that Alibaba money.
Yes, with all the Alibaba money, and also I mean there's they recently switched things up with Microsoft,
Right.
and maybe they're looking to get into more mobile search type applications like Foursquare. I don't know. I mean, I know.
Look, we've heard rumors about Yahoo and Search for a long time now, but I don't think any of them have ever been come to fruition because they don't have the actual internal tech to pull it off. But if they were going to make a push on that to build up their daily app user experience, that this was their current strategy, then I can see it. But I don't get $900 million.
Yeah.
That
That's
I definitely don't get. The other thing,
$250, $300.
Well, but they've raised so much throughout the years that I think that they get into this conundrum of this valuation that they have and that their investors have, and you see this stuff again and again. I mean, they were sort of Web 2.0, and I guess now maybe we're in Web 3.0 or something, but they were that, earlier company, and maybe that should be a warning signal to people who are raising so much money now, thinking that there's nothing bad ever about raising all this money. It's like, but then it might get you in a pickle later on.
Like, say, Slack?
Maybe. I don't know.
Look,
I don't know.
If Yahoo does deploy $900 million in cash and stock to buy Foursquare, I think it's a dramatic overpayment. Just given my knowledge of the company. I can see the synergies, I understand that, and I would love to see Foursquare find a home. But 900 is a little steep.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's interesting also that you had mentioned that there are so many different things on this story, and Ingrid couched her story very well with, acknowledging that a lot of sources said that this
different things
isn't happening. And
right.
then some other publications, CNBC and Recode, both wrote stories that were just sources. Yahoo is not buying Foursquare.
it was literally like 2 sentences in Recode
Right.
saying, no, this is not happening.
Yeah.
Our
Foursquare is
sources
just
said,
one of those companies that there are always rumors swirling around it. In our tips box for months,
Oh,
there's just
fill
always
up with
rumors.
yeah.
People
So it's
like
tough
to
to
talk.
ignore it. I mean, you kind of want to address it. Whether someone tells you one thing, another person says something, and you think, well, maybe it's not a thing, but let's at least throw it out there and talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, also, if you bring it up and say, hey, guys, we're hearing this, we're going to throw it out there, often you get a lot more inbound after that. It's a way to kind of stir the fire a little bit and get the fires going.
Yeah. So last story here, Etsy went public this week.
Bam.
Yeah.
And it went so poorly, too. Botched IPO, the share price collapsed. Investors, the CEO jumped off a building, actually. No, what were the numbers, actually? It was like an 94% jump first day?
So it started out at 16 a share. That was what it was going to go. And it went immediately up to 31 a share on opening, which was almost double. And then at the close of the day, I think it was something like 86%. It closed at 86% up from what it was originally going to start at. So it did really, really well.
Yeah, I mean, I think this shows that the IPO market's still active, it's still open, and I
Yeah.
hope other tech companies get off the sidelines. I mean, we've been talking about this is going to be a big year for tech IPOs, and we've now had 2.
Right.
And it's middle of April. Right. It's a quarter and a half in, and we're not seeing a lot of action. I'm disappointed by that.
Yeah, and I know that you've said that you think Etsy's numbers are good and strong.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure because clearly they're not profitable and their losses are widening. And so I think if anything, though, this shows that there's such an appetite for these tech companies and these web companies, these internet companies. It's like if Etsy gets this kind of reception, imagine what kind of reception a Dropbox could get.
Well, Shopify is in the dock right now. They filed their S1. They're a similar sort of company, e-commerce as a platform and so forth. But on Etsy's losses, their revenues have grown so quickly that their losses as a percentage of the revenue have gone down. Right. So they're doing really well, actually. I wouldn't fret about a $14 million GAAP loss last year. That's like $8 and change plus lunch. So they're good.
Okay.
But I wonder if companies that are in a little bit less good shape will have a similar reaction, because I think there are a lot of companies out there that don't have quite as strong numbers but want to go public, and maybe we'll take this as too strong a positive indicator and therefore pull the trigger too early. But we'll see.
We will see. That's about all the time we have today. Thank you for watching, and tune in next week.